It started on a Tuesday afternoon in 2014. I was 23, fresh out of college, living in my small apartment and trying to figure out my career. That's when my phone buzzed with a frantic call from my sister Emma. "Hey, can you watch the kids for just 1 hour? I have this emergency work meeting. I'll be back before dinner, I promise." Emma was 28 then, with 4 children ranging from 2 to 8 years old. Tyler, Madison, Chloe, and baby Lucas. Her husband had left her 6 months earlier, and she was struggling to keep everything together. Family helps family, right? That's what Mom always taught us. 1 hour turned into 6 hours. Then overnight. Then the entire weekend. "I got called into another meeting," she'd text. "Can you keep them until Sunday? You're so good with kids." Sunday became Monday. Monday became a full week. The emergency work meetings multiplied like rabbits. Each time Emma had a different excuse. Client crisis. Overtime opportunity. Training seminar. Networking event. Always something that would set her up for success and benefit the kids in the long run. My small one-bedroom apartment transformed into a daycare center overnight. I bought bunk beds with my savings. Filled my refrigerator with goldfish crackers and juice boxes. Learned the intricate art of braiding an 8-year-old's hair at 6 a.m. before school. Baby Lucas was still in diapers, crying through the night while I rocked him back to sleep, then dragged myself to my entry-level marketing job the next morning on 3 hours of sleep. "Emma, when are you picking them up?" I'd ask during our brief phone calls. "Soon. This week has been crazy. You're amazing with them though. They love you so much. Just a few more days until things settle down." A few more days became a few more weeks. Weeks became months. Before I knew it, I was buying them school supplies, attending parent-teacher conferences, and explaining to concerned teachers why Aunt Jenny was always the one dropping them off and picking them up. Emma would visit occasionally, sweeping in like a Disney princess with arms full of toys and promises of trips to Disneyland. Once work calms down, she'd stay for an hour, take selfies with the kids for her Instagram, then disappear again with another excuse about urgent business matters. "Where's Mommy going?" little Chloe would ask, watching Emma's car pull away. "She'll be back soon, sweetheart," I'd lie, knowing it would be weeks before we saw her again. The financial strain was crushing. For kids eat a lot. They need clothes that fit, school supplies, medicine when they're sick, and activities to keep them occupied. My entry-level salary barely covered my own expenses, let alone supporting 4 additional people. I started working freelance projects in the evenings after the kids went to bed, designing logos and websites for extra income. Family gatherings became particularly painful. Emma would show up looking refreshed and successful, talking about her thriving real estate career and new condo. She'd hug the kids and play the devoted mother role for a few hours while I sat exhausted in the corner, dark circles under my eyes. "Emma's doing so well for herself," relatives would say. "She's really turned her life around after the divorce. And Jenny, you're such a good aunt, helping out occasionally," they'd add, completely unaware that I hadn't had a full night's sleep in 2 years. Emma never corrected them. She'd smile and nod, accepting praise for her successful co-parenting arrangement, while I bit my tongue. By year 3, the kids called me Mama Jenny. Tyler, now 11, had stopped asking when his real mom was coming home. Madison, 9, would get angry when Emma visited because it meant disruption to our routine. Chloe, 7, had attachment issues and would cry for hours after Emma left. Lucas, now 5, barely remembered living anywhere else. I enrolled in night school to finish my business degree, studying textbooks while helping with homework, writing papers during Saturday morning cartoons. The kids adapted to our unconventional life. They learned to be quiet during my video conference calls, to help each other with simple tasks, to understand that Mama Jenny worked very hard to take care of everyone. "Why can't we live with real Mommy?" Madison asked one evening while I helped her with math homework. "This is just temporary," I said, the same lie I'd been telling for 3 years. "She's working hard to get a better job so she can take care of you." But Emma's social media told a different story. Weekend trips to wine country. Date nights at expensive restaurants. Shopping sprees and spa days. Always alone or with new boyfriends, never with her children. Year 4 brought new challenges. Tyler needed braces. Madison wanted to join the soccer team. Chloe required speech therapy. Lucas started asking difficult questions about why other kids lived with their mommies but he lived with Aunt Jenny. The costs kept mounting while my own dreams of graduate school, travel, or even dating remained on permanent hold. Emma's visits became more sporadic. Sometimes she'd go 3 months without seeing the kids, then show up unannounced expecting them to drop everything and worship her. She'd criticize my parenting choices, complain about their behavior, then leave again when the reality of actual childcare became too demanding. "You're letting them watch too much TV," she'd say during her brief visits. "You try managing 4 kids' homework, bath time and bedtime routine by yourself every single night," I'd respond. "Don't be dramatic. You know I'm grateful for the help." Help. After 4 years of full-time parenting, she still called it help. The breaking point came during year 5. I was 28, watching my college friends get married, buy houses, and start their own families while I remained trapped in a life I never chose. Emma announced she was moving to a bigger city for an amazing career opportunity. "It's temporary," she assured me. "Just a year or 2 until I get established. You don't mind keeping the kids a little longer, right? They're so settled with you." A little longer. 5 years was already a little longer. "Emma, I can't keep doing this. I've put my entire life on hold. These are your children." "You're being selfish," she snapped. "I'm working hard to build a better future for them. You think raising kids is hard? Try building a career as a single mother. At least you get to see them grow up." At least I get to see them grow up. As if I should be grateful for sacrificing my 20s to raise her children while she pursued her dreams. Years 6 through 8 blurred together in a haze of school events, medical appointments, homework supervision, and sleepless nights when someone had nightmares or stomach bugs. I advanced in my career despite the constraints, eventually becoming a marketing manager with flexible work-from-home options. The kids adapted to our rhythm. I was their stability, their constant, their real parent in every way except biologically. Emma's visits became holidays-only affairs. Christmas and birthdays, when she'd arrive with expensive gifts and expect instant gratitude. She'd take the kids for a few hours, return them cranky and overstimulated, then disappear for months. The kids learned not to get excited about her promises because they were rarely kept. "Why does Mommy say she'll take us to the zoo but never does?" Lucas asked when he was 8. "Some people have trouble keeping promises," I explained, trying not to poison them against their mother while also protecting them from constant disappointment. Year 9 brought teenagers. Tyler was 17, Madison 15, Chloe 13 and Lucas 11. They needed different things now. Emotional support through first heartbreaks. Guidance about college applications. Help navigating social pressures. I attended every school play, every basketball game, every parent-teacher conference. I was the emergency contact, the permission slip signer, the person who knew their friends, their fears, their dreams. Emma remained a stranger who showed up occasionally with criticism and demands for gratitude. "They're so disrespectful when I try to parent them," she complained after Tyler refused to hug her during her last visit. "You can't parent someone you see twice a year," I replied. "I'm their mother. That should mean something." "Being a mother means more than biology, Emma. It means being present." She didn't understand. She'd created these 4 beautiful human beings, then walked away from the hard work of actually raising them. She wanted the title without the responsibility, the credit without the sacrifice. By year 10 I was 33 years old. I'd never been married, never traveled internationally, never lived alone, never had the freedom to make spontaneous decisions. Every choice I made had to consider 4 other people. Every dollar I earned went toward someone else's needs. Every dream I had took a backseat to homework help and soccer practices. The kids were my life and I loved them fiercely. But they weren't supposed to be my children. I was supposed to be the fun aunt who visited on weekends and sent birthday cards. Instead, I'd become their sole parent while Emma got to play the role of exciting visitor. The final straw came on a Wednesday morning in March 2024. Tyler was preparing for college applications, Madison was dealing with teenage drama, Chloe was struggling with anxiety, and Lucas was having behavioral issues at school. I was juggling work deadlines while managing 4 different crises when Emma called. "I need you to bring the kids to me this weekend. I'm getting married and my fiancé wants to meet them." 10 years. 10 years of no support, minimal visits and sporadic phone calls. Now she wanted to parade them in front of her new man like accessories. "Emma, Tyler has SAT prep this weekend. Madison has a basketball tournament. They can't just drop everything. You're being difficult. I'm their mother. I should be able to see my children when I want. You are their mother. So start acting like one." What's that supposed to mean? It means you don't get to abandon them for a decade and then demand they rearrange their lives for your convenience. I never abandoned them. I've been working hard to. Stop. Just stop with the excuses. You've been working hard on your career, your social life, your new relationships. You haven't been working hard on being their mother. You're being cruel. I do my best. Your best is showing up twice a year with gifts and expecting forgiveness? The call ended with Emma screaming about my ingratitude and threatening to reclaim her children whenever she wanted. I stared at the phone, shaking with 10 years of suppressed anger and resentment. That evening, I sat the kids down for a conversation we should have had years ago. I need to tell you something important. I've loved raising you, but I was never supposed to be your primary parent. I was supposed to help your mom, not replace her. Tyler, now 17 and wise beyond his years, looked at me with understanding. We know, Jenny. We've always known. You've been more of a mom to us than she ever was, Madison added. What happens now? Chloe asked, anxiety creeping into her voice. Now I make a choice. I can keep enabling your mother by allowing this arrangement to continue, or I can force her to step up and be the parent you deserve. Lucas, now 13 and struggling with identity issues about his absent mother, asked the question that broke my heart. Are you going to leave us too? I'm not leaving you. I'm giving your mother a chance to be your parent. If she can't handle that responsibility, we'll figure out a legal arrangement that protects you. The next morning, I did something I should have done 10 years earlier. I packed 4 suitcases with their belongings, loaded them into my car and drove to Emma's office building. She worked in commercial real estate now, making excellent money according to her social media posts. The kids were confused but trusting. We'd had conversations about their mother's absence over the years, and they understood this wasn't about them being unwanted. I walked into Emma's sleek office building for children in tow, and asked the receptionist to call Emma down to the lobby. She appeared 10 minutes later, looking polished and professional in a designer suit. What are you doing here? Why do you have the kids? I'm returning your children, I said calmly. 10 years ago you asked me to watch them for 1 hour. I'm done watching them. They're yours now. You can't just. I can and I am. These are your children, Emma. You gave birth to them. You're legally responsible for them. I've been a free babysitter for a decade, but that ends today. Emma's face went through several emotions. Shock, anger, panic, then back to anger. You can't do this to me. I have a career. I have meetings. You have children. 4 of them. They need a parent, not an absent visitor who shows up with gifts twice a year. Tyler stepped forward, tall and mature at 17. Mom, we don't know you. You've been gone our whole lives. I haven't been gone. I've been working to provide for you. Jenny provided for us, Madison said quietly. You just showed up sometimes. Emma looked around the lobby, realizing her co-workers were witnessing this scene. Her professional image was cracking in real time. Fine, she said through gritted teeth. But this is temporary. When you realize how hard it actually is, don't come crying to me. I've known how hard it is for 10 years, I replied. The difference is, I didn't run away from it. I hugged each child, promising to stay in their lives but explaining that their mother needed to step up now. Tyler understood. Madison was worried but supportive. Chloe cried but knew this was necessary. Lucas was scared but trusted that I wouldn't abandon them completely. I handed Emma the car seat's diaper bag, which I still kept for emergencies, and a folder containing 10 years of medical records, school information and documentation she'd never bothered to maintain. Their pediatrician is Dr. Martinez. Tyler has a nut allergy. Madison is lactose intolerant. Chloe has anxiety and sees Dr. Peterson on Thursdays. Lucas needs structure and consistent bedtimes. All the information is in this folder. Emma stared at the folder like it was written in a foreign language. I walked away, got in my car and drove home to my empty apartment for the first time in 10 years. The calls started within hours. They won't stop crying. Lucas wet the bed and I don't know what to do. Madison says she hates me. Tyler locked himself in his room. I didn't answer. For 10 years I'd enabled Emma's abandonment by making it consequence-free. Every time she walked away I was there to catch the pieces. Every time she made promises she couldn't keep, I was there to manage the disappointment. Every time her children needed a parent, I filled that role while she played the part of successful career woman. No more. 3 days later, Emma showed up at my apartment looking haggard and desperate. I can't do this. You have to take them back. No. Please. I'm not good at this. I don't know how to be a mother. You learn. The same way I learned 10 years ago when you dumped them on me. That's different. You're naturally good with kids. I wasn't naturally good at anything. I was 23 years old with no experience. I learned because I had to. Because there were 4 children who needed someone to step up. I'll pay you. Whatever you want. This isn't about money, Emma. This is about you taking responsibility for the children you created. But my career. Millions of parents manage careers and children. Figure it out. Emma left angry, threatening legal action and claiming I'd kidnapped her children. I documented everything over the years. Her absences, my expenses, my role as primary caregiver. Any legal investigation would reveal the truth about who'd been parenting these children. A week later, I received a call from Tyler. Jenny, Mom hired a nanny, but she doesn't know anything about us. Can you tell her about my college applications? I had to make a difficult decision. I could step back in and rescue everyone, or I could hold firm and force Emma to figure out her own parenting. Tyler, you need to tell your mother about your college applications. She's your parent. She needs to learn about your life. But she doesn't understand. Then help her understand. You're almost an adult. You can advocate for yourself and your siblings. It was the hardest phone call I'd ever made. Every instinct screamed at me to fix everything, to swoop in and solve their problems. But 10 years of enabling had to end somewhere. Over the following months, I received updates through social media and occasional calls. Emma struggled initially, hiring and firing 3 different nannies. She had to reduce her work hours. She missed important business trips. Her social life disappeared under the weight of actual parenting responsibilities. But slowly something shifted. She started attending Tyler's basketball games. She learned about Madison's friend drama. She figured out how to help Chloe with her anxiety. She discovered that Lucas needed consistency and patience, not expensive gifts. The transformation wasn't instant or perfect. Emma made mistakes, lost her temper, and called me crying more times than I could count. But she was finally learning what I'd known for 10 years. Being a parent means showing up every day, not just when it's convenient. 6 months later, I met them for dinner. The kids looked healthier, more relaxed. They were still adjusting to having their actual mother present, but the panic and confusion had been replaced with cautious hope. Emma looked exhausted but different. More grounded. More present. I never realized, she said quietly while the kids played at a nearby arcade. I thought providing money was enough. I thought someone else could handle the daily stuff while I built a career. Parenting is the daily stuff, I replied. I wasted so much time. They grew up without me. You can't change the past. But you can be present for their future. She nodded, tears in her eyes. Thank you for forcing me to step up. I hated you for months, but thank you. As I drove home that night to my quiet apartment, I reflected on the past 10 years. I'd sacrificed my 20s to raise children who weren't mine. I'd missed opportunities, relationships, and experiences that I could never get back. But I'd also helped 4 amazing humans become the people they were meant to be. I'd given them stability during the most formative years of their lives. And finally, I'd forced their mother to become the parent they deserved. The kids still call me Mama Jenny. I'm still involved in their lives, but now as the aunt I was always supposed to be. Emma handles the day-to-day parenting, the school meetings, the bedtime routines, the endless cycle of laundry and lunches and homework help. Sometimes I wonder what my life would have been like if I'd said no on that first Tuesday afternoon in 2014. Would I be married by now? Would I have traveled the world? Would I have climbed higher in my career without the constraints of 4 dependents? I'll never know. But I do know this. Sometimes love means saying no. Sometimes helping someone means stopping the help that enables their dysfunction. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is forcing them to step up and become who they're supposed to be. Emma is finally a mother. Tyler is heading to college with his actual parents' support. Madison, Chloe, and Lucas have the stability they always deserved. And I have my life back 10 years later than planned, but with the knowledge that I helped raise 4 incredible humans who will always be part of my heart. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away and let people face the consequences of their choices. It took me 10 years to learn that lesson, but it was worth every difficult moment.